Season 5 of Stranger Things is the last and most divisive season of the show, so I'm going to review it now and see where I land, because most people either love it or hate it, and there's not really an in-between. Which does stink, seeing as this is the note that Stranger Things goes out on. And Season 5 has a clear direction that it's trying to take things in, which at least I can respect that for. But the execution is a little messy. Starting off with the good in this season, I think Will is a really good character this time around. Season 1 and Season 2, we didn't really get to know him that much, and then he just got nothing to do after those ones. And he was a little bit unlikable, actually, in Season 4. So it's kind of crazy to think now that I actually really enjoy when he was on screen in this season. Which, I mean, I probably should go back and rewatch that season because I haven't watched Season 5 since it came out. But I do really like Will. I think that they're starting to, put him in the right direction, and it stinks that it took this long to do that, because if he was like this the entire show, he could probably be a really good character by now, but at this point, it's a little too late to fully make him a good character. But Robin being near him, almost like Dustin is with Steve, really does help. Like, they're kind of the new duo, and I think that that really does do good to Will. Like, he was just not enjoyable in those first few seasons, and now he actually is. But a character that I was not enjoying this time around that I actually did love through the first 4 seasons was Dustin. So, a lot of people don't like Season 5 Dustin, and I'm really mixed on it. I don't know if I like it or I don't like it. There's just a lot of things that are swaying me in each direction. I can't tell if I like the idea of taking the sweetheart of the show and making him the miserable loner that he is in this show. And I do kind of like his character arc with Steve towards the end. Like, the build up to it is really messy, where they're, fighting all the time and arguing a lot. But then when we get that scene where he saves Steve and then just starts crying and sobbing, that's a really good scene. And that even got me emotional, which hasn't happened a lot in this show, at least. But yeah, I do think that they did that really well towards the end of their character arc. The build-up was just messy to get there. And so I think the first 4 episodes of this show weren't bad at all. Like, I was really not seeing what people were talking about when they say that they don't like Stranger Things Season 5, but then unfortunately, the next 3 episodes kind of made me start to see those problems. Like, there's a lot more of just sitting around talking for 10 minutes straight when we need to be rushing through these things, because they're like life or death situations, like specifically Max and Holly. Come on. They're talking for 10 minutes straight, and then they just slowly walk towards their portals. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And I feel like Max should be rushing this a little bit more, seeing as this is how she's still stuck in Camazotz, is because she did that the last time too. And also Will's coming out scene, that's a really controversial scene, and I can see why. And I personally think it works, but I can see why a lot of other people don't think it works. It does kind of break the flow a little bit and kind of mess things up. But for what it is, it's a good scene. Now, getting on to the big part of Season 5, which everyone seems to be talking about, and that is the finale. This is the note that Stranger Things ends on, and frankly, I'm not sure if I can say I like it. So, honestly, not a fan of this finale. I think some things work in it, but a lot of things don't. I think the highs of it are high, man, like really high, but then the lows are probably the lowest that Stranger Things has ever been at. Like, for example, there are scenes that are well done, in my opinion, like whenever with that axe scene where Vecna is like finally like ending, or there's probably a better way to word that, sorry, where where what's her name, Winona Ryder's character is like chopping off Vecna's head, and it's fitting that Joyce is the one that gets to do that, because she's probably the one that suffered the most, and then it like keeps cutting between all the characters and how Vecna has affected their life, and I thought that was a really powerful scene. But it also was bogged down by the fact that that finale was like maybe half the length of Will's coming out scene, which should not be what that final fight is. It should be 2 times what Will's coming out scene was. But unfortunately, I just think as quickly as it came, it went really fast. And that's one of the bad parts about that finale to me. But I do think Eleven's death scene is fairly well done, but then another thing is that once again it's bogged down by a bad decision, which is them leaving Eleven's fate ambiguous. That's so annoying because this entire season is like finally wrapping up story arcs, and it's like the big build-ups to everything is getting concluded, and then they set something up that we know is never going to get answered. We're probably never going to know if 11 is out there or not. But I guess my stance on that would be I think 11 is dead. There's just a lot more things that are like hinting at the fact that she's dead. And I can see people's reasoning for them saying 11 is alive. I totally see that. I don't think you're dumb if you think 11 is alive. I just think there's more clues adding up to the side that she isn't around anymore, and that story that Mike tells at the end is just his coping mechanism. And I do wonder if, like, because it's inevitable, Stranger Things will get brought back 10, 15 years from now, in my opinion, with them all grown up, like a 15 years later story. I really hope if that does end up happening, we get answers to 11, because that's the big problem I have with Stranger Things Season 5 right now, is it doesn't wrap up 11's story well at all. But that's probably all I really have to say about Stranger Things Season 5. Short version is that it was a pretty well done story with some bad execution here and there, and some really dumb decisions that the Duffer Brothers decided to make that do kind of bring the show down a little bit. But now it's on to my favorite part of the show, or of reviewing these shows and movies, is I get to rank all 5 seasons of Stranger Things now. So watch out for that video. It's probably coming out in the next few weeks. With that, see you later.